Hiya, I'm Kevin McDonald. I'm a property investor. We are off to a property that we purchased with one of my JV partners. Not much done to the property at all, so we picked it up at a really good price. Pretty much ready to rent out. Final chance to have a look at the property before the tenant goes in. The tenant will probably stay for years, as they typically will on single let properties. Yeah, one final chance to have a look inside before the tenant makes it their home. The perfect first investment property would be, well, the key to any investment property, whether it be the first, the second, or the last, is cash flow. Something that creates cash flow, so your monthly rental income every month is more than your total expenses every month. And you want to be having, if it's a single let buy to let, you want a minimum sort of 250 quid a month profit from that deal. Biggest mistake I've ever made was agreeing to do this video. Biggest mistake in property was definitely buying in Eastern Europe. So buying property off plan abroad in the early 2000s and digging myself a massive debt. That was definitely the biggest mistake I ever made. Over 10 years in property, what does it teach me? The market's forgiving, so over time property will go up. I've seen it drop down, I've seen it come back up and go higher than it was before the drop. That's definitely a lesson. Is Mark Homer, my mentor, once said to me, don't wait to buy property and wait. And he's 100% right. Secondly, tenants. Any good tenant has the potential to become a bad tenant. So you don't necessarily get a bad tenant or get a good tenant. Everybody's life circumstances can change. So any good tenant can turn into a bad tenant if they, lose their job, they have relationship issues. Mentally, tenants can change. So lots of different reasons why sometimes tenants can change over time. Definitely tenants can change, and property values. Don't worry about what the value of the property is. Focus on the cash flow as the value. It's your equity. You can never spend equity. The only thing you can actually spend, the only thing that's important, is the cash flow. Equity is only relevant if you sell or if you refinance. The rest of the time, it's cash. What's more powerful, money or knowledge? Definitely knowledge. Why? Because, well, I had some money in the early 2000s. I didn't have a lot. I had like 8 odd grand, and I invested it in the wrong ways and lost that money plus a significant amount more. Today, with my knowledge, I know that if I lost everything tomorrow morning, I'd make it back quicker the second time, because of the knowledge that I've gained over the years. And knowledge, and not just knowledge, connections. So your network, collaborations, people you can call upon, and being around like-minded people. So for me, knowledge and network are critical to your success. And many people, what they say is, everything you need to know about property, you can read it in a book, or you could get it on the internet. Well, typically that's said by people who've got 1 or 2 houses. But for anyone who's got 40, 50, 60 plus properties, then what are they saying? They know that you need the connections, the network, the knowledge to scale to that sort of level. So definitely being around people, having the access to the right answers, the access to the funding, the access to the support, because property journey is not straightforward. There's ups and downs, there's wins and losses, there's things that go wrong on a day-to-day basis, as well as things that go right. It's not easy. Is it worth it? Absolutely worth it. I always say it's the easiest hard work you'll ever do. So money comes and goes. Knowledge stays with you forever.
Rob Moore versus Mark Homer.
Rob Moore versus Mark Homer in what?
In everything. Who do you prefer and why?
Rob Homer. Definitely Rob Homer. Or Mark Moore. One or the other. I can't choose, they're completely different. In terms of who have I learnt more from, I've spent more time with Rob Moore. I've had more conversations with Rob Moore than with Mark. But in terms of my property business, I've got some invaluable advice from Mark Homer. The smartest man I know in property in this country, Mark Homer. Learned a phenomenal amount from him around my property business. Rob Moore, around networking, business, brand building, all that sort of stuff. The most knowledgeable guy I know in this country, Rob Moore. Put them together, phenomenal combination. Separate them, you get half the jigsaw. You get half what you need you don't get the full picture. So together, they're powerful. Individually, not as strong. So which would I put first? Neither, because they both bring completely different skill sets. They both bring a different dynamic to helping me in my business.
Anne Holton versus David Siegler.
Anne Holton versus David Siegler. That's easy. Anne Holton all day long.
Why?
She's prettier. I mean, David Siegler, could you imagine dating him? David Siegler. I mean, David Siegler says if he was 20 years younger, he'd marry my wife. I say to David, you'd need to be 50 years younger to marry my wife. But Anne Holton, we all know, right, if we were all 10 years older, we'd marry Anne Holton. So definitely Anne Holton. Although David Siegler, he's like a cuddly toy. You could have him in your playroom. So if you're watching this video, you've not bought a single property yet, just get out there, do some viewings. Look at the area, look at what properties are selling for, work out your rentals in your area, work out the values of property in your area, and look for a property where you can add value. Don't buy cheap, buy value. Something that you can buy, refurbish, refinance, and pull some money out. But maybe you don't have the funds to do that. So what should you be doing at the very same time? Building your network, letting people know what you're doing, letting people know that you're active in property, you're looking to get started in property. So you're going to raise some money to get your property business off the ground. There's money all around you. The challenge is, a lot of people say to me they find it difficult to raise money, but the reality is they've never tried. They've never positioned themselves. So let everybody know what you do. You let everyone know what you do. Some people will come to you and offer money. Some people will come to you and offer joint venture opportunities. And some people will come to you and offer you properties. Fit it all together and you're building your business. We've got to go visit a house now, so make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video.